How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves, and welcome back to a new match preview on the channel today. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. And today we're going to be looking ahead to Wolves' trip to Newcastle this weekend. As always, looking forward to this one. Wolves on a decent run of form now. We're going to be talking about the game, talking about obviously the players that could and may and may not be available for the match. And as always, we'll get the opposition preview as well. But big shout out firstly to our channel partners over at Football Prizes. Once again, a great Wolves prize for you guys to get involved with. It is a signed and framed Johnny Otto shirt. So obviously good to see Johnny back in the squad. And now, obviously, a great chance for you to get a unique piece of memorabilia as well. So I believe it's a shirt from last season. So yeah, link to them will be in the top of the description down below. But yeah, we look at the matchup. Obviously, Wolves travelling to Newcastle, and Wolves on a decent little run of form now. 2 wins on the bounce, unbeaten in our last 4, and things are slowly looking to go on the up really for Wolves. You may or may not have seen, obviously, the Talking Wolves podcast was released this week. I'm not on it, but if you haven't watched it, be sure to check that one out. And the title of that was Have Wolves Turned a Corner? And there were a number of people in the comment section saying that if Wolves beat Newcastle, we may well have got round that corner. And I think that is... It's true, to be honest. Wolves tend to almost show too much respect for these teams down lower in the table, and Newcastle are arguably one of the most fragile teams in the league right now, just really struggling, low on confidence, and Wolves really need to get at them from the start. Quite similar to how we did against Leeds, really. I think, I was surprised with how almost aggressive we were sort of early stages of the game, but Newcastle, yeah, at the moment aren't looking great. I mean, I'm going to have a look as we speak now at the table. You see them all the way down in 17th with 25 points, just 3 points clear of the relegation zone now. Obviously, Wolves have pulled themselves way out of that now, out of that conversation, you'd hope. Some even, talking about maybe a late dash for Europe for Wolves. But yeah, you look at Newcastle's recent games, of course, they've had a bit of a tough run of fixtures, losing out to Chelsea, Manchester United recently, obviously got us as well. But at the same time, they are picking up the odd win away at Everton. They beat Southampton as well a couple of weeks ago. But there is a distinct lack of goals, really, from Newcastle. They're just struggling to rely on a certain player to grab those goals at the moment. And I think Wolves can take full advantage of that. And we really need to put the pressure on. And you remember, cast our minds back to that game against Molineux when we played them. I think most of us know that was 2 points dropped, and could have seen us in a much better position in the league if we were putting teams like that to the sword and seeing out those victories a little bit more. But in terms of Wolves and looking at the Wolves team, I think one of the biggest factors to us actually picking up some results is actually now having a consistent lineup. Last few games we've more or less stuck with the same sort of system and team and personnel. And it's, there's no surprise that it's working for us and we're slowly grinding out some results. Players behind the scenes, really, it looks like Podence and Bolly. I mean, Nuno's not done his press conference just yet. Bolly and Podence, I expect probably this game to be a little bit too soon for them. Jimenez, it's great to see him out on the training pitch as well. Of course, a lot of people won't want to see us rushing Jimenez back. But I think we will see him before the end of the season. I think he'll be hoping to get a bit of match fitness and match sharpness. It was reported last week that he wanted to be, or got offered the opportunity to be in the Mexico Olympic squad this summer. So for him, he'll want to be getting that match sharpness just to prove that, he's still the same player that he was sort of at the start of the season, really. So yeah, possibly a little bit too soon this game for the likes of Podence, Bolly and Jimenez. But the fact that we've got a consistent lineup now really, for me, shows that we're in a good position. We can go for it a little bit more now. I think we need a win in this one as well, because you look at the next few results, or next few fixtures rather. We play Man City, Villa and Liverpool. You'd argue Villa could be a winnable game, possibly even Liverpool, but Man City are on such a hot streak at the moment. So I think if we can get another win, beat Newcastle, and it takes just a pinch of pressure off for when we play Manchester City, who I think are 17, 18 consecutive wins at the moment on unbelievable form. So it's going to be a huge task for Wolves to get anything out of that game. So if we can beat the likes of Newcastle, that'll just take that little bit of pressure off us going into into March and looking at some of those fixtures there. It could be a tricky month for March, but if we do win in Feb, you look at our results in February, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. That is definitely, a massive achievement for Nuno and the team. But now we move on to the opposition preview. I spoke to a good friend of mine, Rob. He's a Newcastle fan, just to find out a little bit more about the Magpies this season. Right then, so we're moving on now to the Newcastle fan perspective. We've got Rob from the Rubenstein YouTube channel. Rob, how you keeping, man?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Good to see you again. We were just saying the last time I saw you was when we played in the Championship, which feels like forever ago now.
It was. We had a cheeky trip to Wolverhampton Town afterwards.
We did. It was a good laugh. I didn't feel great the next morning. It was good fun.
But yeah, I mean, we're talking about the game. Obviously, it's at James's Park this weekend. What's the story of Newcastle's season so far? Because sort of from an outsider, you look at it, and although you're in I was going to say an okay position, but you're not really. I mean, you've still got a little cushion on those teams in the relegation zone, but it's not been fantastic for you guys, has it?
No. I mean, it's pretty much what I expected, unfortunately, for the season. It's just becoming an ongoing thing that us Newcastle fans aren't happy with, and the pundits seem to keep telling us that Steve Bruce is doing a good job. But when we're sat 3 points above the relegation zone, have lost 14 games this season, I'm just thinking, is he really doing a good job? So, it's not been great. We actually hit some reasonable form. Well, I say reasonable. We won 2 games not too long ago, where we actually looked like we started playing better.
Yeah.
And then Callum Wilson's got injured, and then since then we've lost our games and haven't got a goal scorer. So it's
what's been the issue then for Newcastle? Is it just setting up too defensively? Is there no goals in the team, or is the setup okay? It's just not working out. What is it? What's going wrong?
I think the thing for me is that when Callum Wilson's on the pitch, we've got a goal scorer. But yeah, I do agree that we just play negatively. And I would actually say that one of our biggest issues is our team is just so, it's all based on confidence, and our team it hasn't got any. I think we've got good players. Some people I speak to, I don't want to say it, but saying that we've got a good team, they shouldn't be getting relegated. But, you can say that about other teams in the past. The last time we went down, we had a really good team as well. St. Max, Almiron, Wilson, Fraser, these are players that are actually good, and we are just not getting enough out of them. And for me, it all points back to the manager, unfortunately. And I'm seeing on the time reminders on Snapchat, Instagram, and all the other, of people doing videos of this time last year saying how with Steve Bruce in charge, it wasn't going to work. And then a year later, suddenly people seem to be surprised that we're sat just above the relegation zone. And it's we have been telling you this for quite a long time now. But yeah.
So, I mean, what's the future for Newcastle, though? Say, for argument's sake, well, you could go down, stay up. What's the deal with this takeover? Is anything happening? Because every other week it seems in the news someone else wants to be taking Newcastle over. Somehow, Mike Ashley's still in charge.
I know. Well, obviously, what basically went down was that the Premier League denied it first time round because of conflicts with the country buying it and rights to the Premier League and all of these weird things. As I believe Mike Ashley is taking them to court at the moment to try and have that resolved. I have seen some other conspiracy theories is that he's trying to get us relegated on purpose so that because then the Premier League wouldn't be in charge of whether we got taken over or not. So I tell you what, I would actually seriously consider if it could be written in stone that we would get taken over if we got relegated, I would actually be tempted to take it, because I can't go on watching this year after year of just trying to stay up. It's just, I mean, I know a lot of teams do it, and it's about the money as much as anything else, but just, yeah, it's been painful to watch for us recently, and I'm not looking forward to watching us play U's either.
Well, from last time, there's some nice away days in the Championship, isn't there? So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But, you mentioned a couple of players there. Who are players that, if Newcastle turn up this weekend, who are the players that Wolves really have to look out for?
I mean, I think St. Max is the main man. I mean, he picks up the ball and I'm just shouting at him, run. Like, don't even try and pass it to half the players in our team. Just keep going and try and you can tell he thinks it in his head as well, because he'll pick up the ball, he'll try and beat three men, and he can't do it. So I would definitely say he's the one. Other than that, maybe Almiron. He's quick, and he can definitely get in behind. So those are our two main threats. If I'm being honest, we haven't got a striker right now. Because Wilson's out, it might be Gale, it might be Carroll, or we might try and play a false nine with one of the above. So,
what about Joe Linton? What's he up to these days?
I mean, bless the lad. We've spent a lot of money on him, and he definitely does try hard, but it's not working.
We were linked with him before you boys signed him, and I was really I like the prospect of signing him, so I'm sort of glad we didn't go for him in the end.
I mean, someone asked me the other day, how do you get the best out of Joe Linton? And I said, stick him on the bench. So, and as I say, that is probably a bit harsh, but I think it's a bit of both. I do think with a different manager, a different tactic, a different formation, he could be better. I don't think he's got it in him to play up top on his own with no support. And then we don't really play with a two striker. Like, his best role would probably be like number 10 floating in behind the number 9, but we just don't play that. So whenever we stick him on the pitch on a wing or up top, he's out of position. So I think he could well have a player in there somewhere, but we're definitely not getting anything out of him at the minute.
And which sort of Wolves players from, obviously, I don't know how much of Wolves you've seen this season, but which Wolves players scare you the most coming to St James's Park?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, how are you doing defensively at the moment? Because I know because I think what would possibly scare me. Are you playing 5 at the back again now?
Yeah, back at 5 at the back now.
Yeah, I just think again, without Wilson, we haven't got anyone up front. If you are playing 5 at the back, I don't think we're going to get anywhere near your goal, to be honest. Obviously, Traore. Is he getting a game at the minute? Oh,
mate, yeah, he's starting. He's turning it up now. Last few weeks he's been all right. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, him. And then what's happening with Jimenez? Is he coming back, or is he still out?
He's in training, but he won't be back. I'd say obviously the ones you should look out for probably are Neto and Adama. Two wingers, maybe. But they're both on fire at the moment, just full of confidence. Like you say, I think Wolves had a very similar spell, sort of between maybe Christmas and the end of Jan. Our confidence was rock bottom. And there were calls for Nuno out as well. So I don't know, obviously, if you saw any of those from the outside. But now, like you say, we've picked up a couple of good results with 4 unbeaten now. Picked up a little bit of form, and our confidence is up there. But I mean, ever since we've been back in the Premier League, all the games with Newcastle have been close. I think they've only been sort of 1 goal in it off the top of my head.
I think it's 1-1 is the popular scoreline, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, earlier this season, I think Wolves fans were distraught about that result, really. I think because Bruce literally went to park the bus. We found it so difficult to break you down, and then you got that late free kick, didn't you? So,
yeah.
I mean, and have you got a score prediction, Rob, ahead of this game?
Well, I think if it was 1-1 again, I would take it now, I think. I can't, mate, 1-0 us, maybe, if we get lucky. I can't actually see us dominating the game or having that many chances. If we get anything out of this game, I think it'll be through a free kick, a pen, or just a scrappy 1-1, 1-0 win. Yeah. So, yeah.
And the final question: are Newcastle going to stay up?
Yes, I'll say yes. I mean, Fulham 3 points behind us. They have got a tough run of fixtures, and we've got an okay one. We've got Hughes, I think we've got West Brom, I think we've got Brighton, and I think we'll be able to know the answer after those games. So, as I say, hopefully the answer is yes, but I'm not gonna. Who knows, mate.
Fingers crossed for you, mate. Anyway, I appreciate you jumping on the channel. A link for Rob's channel will be in the description down below, but thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you. Cheers, man.
Well, big thanks to Rob once again. You can find his links in the description down below. And this part is normally my, obviously, predicted lineup, but I'm pretty confident and pretty happy with what we've been seeing recently in the team. Obviously, the only concern we could have possibly is that, we were getting done quite a lot with direct balls, which Newcastle could offer, I think, on Saturday evening. But I would stick with Patricio in goal. A phenomenal performance against Leeds as well. A back three of Saiss, Cody and Dendoncker. Your wing backs of Johnny to start. Hopefully we can push him to try and get as much as we can out of him. And then Semedo on the right. Neves and Matinho, Neto, Adama and Willian Jose. Of course, I'm doing this before Nuno's press conference, so things may change slightly, but if everybody's fit and available, I would expect an unchanged lineup and just sticking with our guns and getting that consistency and fingers crossed, getting 3 points at St James's Park. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below ahead of this game. Hopefully you enjoy the game and hopefully you enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.